is simply stunning. Fantastic goal.
Hello and welcome to that 90s Premier League podcast, episode 7.
Episode 7, Jonesy.
Yeah, I'm Jonesy, and with me is the most photogenic man on Instagram, Mr. Woody. How are you, mate?
Stop it. Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. Very good.
You've been on there a lot this week. You're flexing in the shirts, mate.
Do you know what? I said to you in the week, didn't I, that I want to start streamlining my collection to kind of 90s Premier League, because the more we talk about it every week and the more we analyse the wonderful world of football shirts and the 90s Premier League, the more obsessive I'm becoming. I don't know about you.
Yeah, you should see my eBay search history. It's Premier League 1983, 1994.
Yeah. And
yeah, you're exactly right. Like, I've become, I guess I was going on to more kind of, as I was saying, A-League and more overseas, like Bundesliga and stuff like that. But since doing the pod, I'm back onto Premier League.
Mad, isn't it? But I mean, I'm even talking about, like, I know you sent me pictures in the week of like the Wilkinson sword razors from like the 90s. And I'm kind of thinking like, oh, where would that go in my kit room?
Mate, you can probably find it as well. Yeah. I was going through like a lot of the ads and magazines, and I was just like, man, some of the stuff, like the flags and stuff like that.
I mean, I could easily be one of these hoarders at some point, and then people have got to wade their way through like my room just to sort of see me in the corner with a Match magazine.
That's like my HQ at the moment, mate.
Right.
In here and goes, what the hell's going on? All right.
Tell us what we got.
Okay. So we are going to talk about the Great Escapes.
The Great Escape.
Yep. The relegation battles, everything bottom of the league.
Well, we thought it would be quite poignant, didn't we? Because obviously this season's Premier League in 24-25 season's pretty much done, right?
Yeah.
And obviously the bottom three aren't actually confirmed. I mean, I think Southampton have been confirmed, but
yeah,
I mean,
I think they were confirmed since day one, weren't they?
Yeah, it's not been a great season. And obviously we kind of thought, do you know what? A lot of that started happening in the 90s around this sort of time. So let's talk about everything relegation, right?
Yes.
Have you ever suffered relegation with a club before, Jonesy?
No, I was actually going to say that. I've never suffered a relegation. How about you?
Congratulations.
Yeah,
I've suffered many a relegation with Sheffield Wednesday.
Is this why you didn't want to talk about the 99-2000 season? No.
Did that season happen? Yeah, I mean,
it did. We'll talk about it.
We've got a whole feature on that one season, just a special for me. Yeah, do you know what? I've been through many a relegation with Sheffield Wednesday, unfortunately, and nothing hurt so much as the 99-2000 season, which we will discuss later on. But I think for a club to drop out of the Premier League is huge, right?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm a Liverpool fan, so.
All right.
Experience.
We get it. All right. Yeah, you're not used to it. Your cup finals or bust.
What do they call it? Glory hunter? Yeah.
Do you know what? I think the term glory hunter for me was playground chat. If anyone told me they supported Man United, I'd be like, glory hunter, see you later. Bye-bye.
I think it's Man City these days, is it?
Let's just do the Premier League swaps in the playground, clear off. Bye-bye. Glory hunter.
All right, let's get on to what we wore 90s. All right, what are you wearing?
I think we're covering East Anglia today, aren't we, mate? I mean, we've got the derby. So, this planned? It kind of was, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, didn't we do on a kick clash, did we?
No, we didn't. We both agreed that we were wearing red, and we talk about Trini and Susanna every week. Jonesy agreed to go in yellow, and you're looking good in yellow, by the way, mate. It's a colour that suits you. It's glowing.
Yeah. I love it. All right, what do you got on?
I'm wearing Ipswich Town 94-95 away. I really like this shirt, to be honest. I think red and black. So you can see the thick black tape on the cuff, and then you've got the huge Ipswich badge, which is a badge within a badge.
Yeah.
And I think we've spoke about this recently with like the Wales kit, the Oldham kit, that kind of template. It's very similar to this, isn't it? With
yeah, it actually is. Yeah, you're right.
with the taping on the shoulder and then the pinstripe within it.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about this badge a second, Jonesy. How nice are these badges within a badge?
You're a fan of the Shield, aren't you?
Oh, I think every kit should have a shield.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
I just think this seems a bit more of a club, doesn't it, rather than like a badge. It's massive. It's huge.
Badge of honour. Yeah,
exactly. A badge of honour. So yeah, what are you wearing, mate?
Not like this little canary you've got here, is it? I am wearing the 1994 to 96 Norwich City Mitre.
Mitre.
Yeah.
Would you say this is the first mitre kit that you were like accustomed to as a shirt collector?
Think so, yeah.
Because you're a mitre fan, Jonesy, aren't you?
Yeah. Big fan of the footballs. I've got plenty of the shin pads as well. Yeah, big fan. But the shirts, I don't know. Yeah.
Show us a little bit more of the detail for the YouTube watchers, mate. What have you?
So you've got like the mitre,
the tape again.
The taping, yeah. I don't know about the shirt. I mean, I think I preferred is it the bird shit one from the previous year?
I think you're supposed to call it egg and cress.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Edit that out. Yeah.
No, definitely leave that in. That is brilliant. What about the bird shit? No, it's.
I like that one.
Yeah.
And I want to get it one day in my collection. It probably cost me a fortune now.
Oh. Yeah.
But this one, as I'm on a journey to collect all the 1994, 95 home shirts, I think I've only got a couple left. This is.
So am I.
One of them. Yeah. This is one I'm happy to have. But as I said, it's not one of my favorites, but I like it.
We are going to do a kit episode, right? At some stage. We did say, but I think, because I'm not going to go into it too much, but what do you think right now is your favourite era for 90s football in terms of kits? You've just said about 94, 95. Is that your favourite?
Yeah, that was the one where I was fully invested, and hence why I'm trying to get all the home shirts. I think I've only got like 3 to go.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's been a long, which I've enjoyed it. It's been a long kind of little hobby, getting when I can.
I think we need to put a vote to the listeners, by the way, because the other day I've got a confession to make, Jonesy. Right?
Okay, here we go.
Pope John Paul Jonesy. Here I come with a confession. I came across a Sheffield United shirt. I'm not happy. I'm not proud.
Oh, okay.
But it was on eBay, and I thought this is probably a shirt that I need to consider buying for my collection, but I just can't pull the trigger. What do I do? You look disgusted.
Buy it, take a photo, sell it.
Buy it, take a photo, sell it. Mm.
Yeah, so there you've got it. It's there. You own it. You've got it up on Instagram.
True.
And then,
True.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think. What about your fellow Wednesday fans? What would they think?
I don't know.
Unfollow, block.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big move, right? I mean, although, you've got Man United shirts, you've got Everton, right?
I've got plenty of Man United shirts. I don't wear them, but I admire them.
See, there are Sheffield United shirts that I could admire, I suppose. I mean, the kind of Laver sponsor and the Umbro round neck with the lace. Do you know what? Yeah. This has been good for me, Jones. This has been therapeutic. Thank you. Do you know, I feel like talking this out loud has kind of helped me a little bit more.
I'm intrigued, though, if we do a kit episode, we'd do obviously a ranking on where you would put a Sheffield United.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll definitely have to do that. But yeah, it was just a thought that come to my head because obviously, I think certain fans are very particular with shirts that they are quite happy to collect. and some that they are literally like a no-no. And obviously, we've spoke about this a lot this week about kind of trimming the fat in terms of our collection and the fact that we talk nothing but 90s Premier League and the fact that we are both dangerously obsessed. Where does it stop? You know?
It doesn't. It never stops. Right. Excellent. There we go. So that's what we are wearing.
Thank you.
This is comfy, actually. I forgot to say that.
Smell good?
It does, actually. Maybe it's just my Lynx Africa.
Lynx Africa, nice. You need to get like a sort of sound bite for this Jonesy smell of the shirt or something rather than stat of the week. It needs to replace it. Sponsored by Lenore. Right.
Well, I think we're going into stat of the week, aren't we?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Where's the binder?
Binder. On my lap as always. Glasses are on for stat of the week. Now, we're talking everything relegation this week. The great escapes to, I mean, the downright misery of being relegated on the final day. Some clubs have gone before the final day, obviously, which is what's prompted us to have this discussion today. So, ironically, my stat of the week comes from the 94-95 Premier League season.
Excellent.
And both Leicester and Ipswich for that season feature in the top 10 lowest points tally in Premier League history from this season alone, the 94-95.
Wow.
So Leicester were relegated. Oh, actually, as well, this is very like date specific because what we are, well, we're the 11th of April, I think, maybe?
Yeah.
11th of April. This was the 13th and the 14th of April, 94-95. So Leicester were relegated on the 13th of April, 1995, with 29 points. The following day, Ipswich were relegated with 27 points on the 14th of April. And they both sit in the lowest top 10 in Premier League history in this shirt.
There you go. Wow.
There you go.
There you go. Thanks for that.
Sorry, mate. Stat of the week.
Stat of the week. All right.
Right.
Okay. I think we're going to go into Hold the 90s back page. It's not relegation. Let's just flick on that music. All right. So I'm back to 1994, actually, on this day. Here we go. It's a bit different. Look at that for a headline.
FBI.
FBI probe World Cup Brits.
What?
There you go. That's what I said. Tell inflation banter. The FBI will seek to ban Terry Venables from all World Cup grounds unless he signs unprecedented permission for the G-men to probe his life. England manager Venables must agree to the deadline by 30th of April or risk cancellation of his plan to work through the tournament. So what was happening? Obviously, we've got the World Cup. The World Cup organisers being, how does it say, a little bit inexperienced and security mad. So, as it's got here, from Venables is simply Britain's most prominent victim of an inexperienced World Cup organisers, gone security mad and seeing terrorists under every bed. So they wanted Venables to sign a form so they could go into every part of his life and see if they could find anything, which is a bit harsh because before that, when he was going through that thing with Alan Sugar, his life was pretty much all over the back pages anyway.
I was going to say.
But he wasn't the only one as well. So declarations also must be signed by Trevor Brooking, Chris Waddle, Liam Brady, John Fashanu from the BBC's team, and from Kevin Keegan, Ron Atkinson, Ray Wilkins, Xander Slaw, Trevor Francis from the ITV squad.
This is an absolute outrage.
Yeah. So Trevor East, the deputy sports controller, he said, "This is unheard of. The Americans are being bloody awkward." And also wanted Brian Moore as well to sign. So basically, they're saying if they don't sign this declaration for the FBI to go do background checks, these guys will not be going to the World Cup with the BBC or ITV. There you go. So
what year was that?
1994. So you think America's crazy now? but
World Cup is in
on-
USA next year, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay.
So there you go. So I just thought that headline was about. I was going through some. Instead of Beckham on 98, 99, I thought it'd go to 94, and I saw the what about FBI?
But do you, on this kind of subject, mate, do you hear about random stuff like this in the papers or on social media anymore? It's real kind of like, it's almost like the 90s had a real wacky, weird kind of decade where only stuff like this ever happened.
Yeah, it was a strange story. That's where I was kind of flicking through on this date, and I was like, FBI?
That's like saying the FBI are going to investigate like Roy Keane or like Gary Neville or like, that's mad.
Yeah,
And
it is.
to drag poor Chris Waddle through the mud as well. I mean, who do they think they are?
As soon as I saw his name, I was like, oh, Woody's not going to be.
Well, that is a very interesting hold the back page, mate. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And that was pretty much it because, as I said, if I go through the entire paper, I just end up just sitting there, just going through actually everything.
Yeah. No, I get it.
There you
What's
go.
next?
So it is just the back page. I think we're going to talk relegation and survival, I think, mate.
Okay. Right. Well, before we go into the seasons, let's go down memory lane for you, Jonesy. I know obviously you haven't had a club going through relegation. I get it. But as a kid, did you know much about relegation in the 90s? Did you kind of pay attention to it? Did you kind of see Match of the Day and go, oh, such and such has gone down, or oh, last day drama?
The drama I used to kind of be into, but I wasn't kind of bothered about some of the teams that were going down. It's just it is what it was. You know, you become a football fan, you just say, all right, this it is what it is. I mean, it's a bit different here in Australia because we don't have relegation. A bit like the MLS as well. You don't have relegation. Which I find boring.
You need a threat, don't you, to kind of make your team play better, I suppose.
And that's it. But as I said, the battles on Match of the Day, back when they would show in between the game. The last day of the season.
Oh, yes. I remember that. I used to love that. Where they showed like about a few seconds clip of a game and then they went to another one. And you'd always have like the fan with his hands on his head going like or like praying and
had the little radio. Trying to listen to the other game.
When in fact it was probably like Saturday night. I used to love clips like that. I mean, yeah, so I suppose, is it fair to say that relegation really didn't mean much as a football fan unless you were in it, i.e. your club was there?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I do know that like Match of the Day and stuff made a big kind of song and dance about it when it came to it, but like it was almost like, I think relegation probably has a bit more of a financial impact on clubs now than it did back then. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at actually a bit of research about the parachute payments. Apparently there was no parachute payments back then.
Oh, well, I stand corrected then. Right. Yeah, so they literally were chucked in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just that there was no, in the early mid-90s, there's no parachute payments like there was today. So literally relegated clubs basically went from the Premier League TV riches to the lower league football, the lower football league revenues overnight. So it's just like,
wow. So if anything, then it was worse.
Yeah.
Because I can always remember clubs when they got relegated from the Premier League, there was always like a real busy summer, wasn't there, where they'd buy like 15 players because of this parachute payment to get back up. Wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, so it said in 1996, the Football League and Premier League finally introduced limited parachute payments, but it wasn't much. It was around 1 million to 2 million spread over 2 seasons, compared to the tens of millions today.
Gosh. Yeah. Okay. Well, I stand corrected with my clipboard there. That was Woody's fail of the week, saying that it was probably easier to get relegated back in the 90s when it wasn't.
But you think about it, there wasn't as much money back then, if you think about it, was there?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And if you look at the kind of injection of cash from Sky and other TV channels over the years as the Premier League grew more popular, obviously the influx of cash for television rights and everything else went up, didn't it? So yeah, okay, I get you. Right, I get you.
Yeah.
Right, where are we starting then, mate?
Do you want to start from the beginning?
Yeah,
Yeah.
92, 93.
Yeah. What a time, eh? So,
I mean, how many teams are in the league?
22.
22, right.
22, yeah.
Can you remember when it went from 22 to 20? Was that
95, 96, wasn't it?
95, 96?
Yeah, 4 teams were relegated in 94, 95, weren't they?
Oof, crikey. Can you imagine being the fourth team to get relegated before they change it? That'd be a tough one to swallow, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Who was it? Norwich, Crystal Palace, Ipswich, Leicester, wasn't it?
That was one of us.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
That's why we're wearing it.
Okie doke. Right. Let's talk 92, 93 then, mate.
Yeah, excellent. All right. I've got the league table on the go as well.
For those of you that aren't watching us on YouTube and you're listening to us on Spotify, why aren't you? Because Jonesy's made another editing triumph here with the full league table from 92 to 93. And obviously on our other episodes, Jonesy, may I add, there are more, right?
Yes, absolutely. All right. So how I've done it, I've gone for how it was. So if we're there right now, this is how the table would have stood. So I've just gone the bottom of the table. Look who's 12.
Oh, Jonesy.
Look how far they are from...
My, how the tables have turned.
Yeah. Liverpool are 12. 50 points. There you go.
I did have a slight heart attack there, though, because the font is quite small on this, and I saw who is in 19th, and I thought, is that Sheffield Wed? This United. Phew.
So looking into it, the bottom, obviously, Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, Oldham, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, and Ipswich. So it's quite open still, you think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Middlesbrough sat at the bottom there with 37.
Yeah.
You know, and then if we go, so we go from that to the final day. So we're all sitting on 41, except for Arsenal. They were on 40 because I think they played Tottenham on the last day of the season and it was on a different time.
Yeah. Did they do the FA Cup after?
Could be, yeah.
Or because they had a replay, obviously, with Sheffield Wednesday, didn't they? So had that affected it, maybe?
Yeah. So I guess going into the last day, you've got, so Forest are done, Middlesbrough are done. So if you look at, you've got Oldham, Crystal Palace, Ipswich, Sheffield United.
Quite a few teams ready for the drop there.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you got any stats on the last day drama of that season?
Well, yeah, so I looked in at Oldham, obviously, the famous final day match against Southampton, which obviously finished 4-3 to Oldham.
Watching that game earlier, did you see it like 4-1 up? They were smashed there.
Yeah, and do you know the facts as well? Letizia got a hat-trick in that game. I mean, that's prime Letizia getting a hat-trick in a game that they still lose in for Southampton. It's mad.
Dowie, beaten in the air. Dreams can come true, and Oldham's just has. They will stay in the Premier League for another season after a 4-3 thriller of a win.
What interested me the most about this, though, Jonesy, is the fact that Oldham were pretty much written off, and you can kind of see the progression from the table to get themselves within 3 points on the final day is incredible, because I've seen here they had 3 matches within 7 days.
Yeah, I've actually got that, thanks to Wikipedia. Here we go. I don't know if you can see that. Look who they played.
Read them out for me, mate.
The 2nd of May, they beat Aston Villa away, and Villa were up the top there, weren't they? So they beat Aston Villa away, 1-0. Then the 5th of May, they played Liverpool. They beat them at home 3-2.
Wow.
And then the 8th of May, they played Southampton and beat them. Obviously, said 4.
That's incredible. Because I know Crystal Palace lose to Arsenal 3-0 on the final day.
Yeah.
So that is one hell of a triumph from Joe Royle to rescue Oldham from that. I mean, have we seen similar sort of stuff this day and age like that? I mean, I'd probably say Leicester, 2014, 2015 season maybe.
Yeah.
Because they were written off, weren't they, under Nigel Pearson?
Yeah. But I think, as I said, these days, it's mostly the promoted teams, isn't it? They come up like this season. It's just, I don't know.
What's your opinion, though, mate? Do you think, right, clubs need luck, or do they need a good run in relegation, or do they need other results to go in their favour, or is it a combination of all three?
I reckon it needs to be a good start to the season because, I mean, looking at I've got a Forest stat. I'll show that up here for their first. So Forest that season, they beat Liverpool 1-0 and then they lost the next 6 games.
Oh,
So they lost, look at that. They lost 5-3 against Oldham.
well,
jeez. So
they'll look back at that.
Yeah, so Forest went 10 wins. So they beat Liverpool, but then they didn't win for 10 games.
That's a form, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think you need a good start to get you going.
It's funny though, isn't it? Because when you get to a lot of clubs now celebrate getting to this elusive 40 points, don't they? Because they kind of think that that's that safety net. But if you look at the points scored here in this league at this point, like bottom of the table, Nottingham Forest, how many points have they got there? Is it 40?
Yeah, 40, 44, 49, 49.
Wow. But yeah, you're right. You can't go 10 games without a win in the Premier League, can you?
No.
And expect to survive.
And Oldham's, I mean, looking at Oldham's season as well, it's just till that May. Those 3 wins out of nowhere. I mean, because before that, they played. So they played on the 17th of April against Tottenham and lost 4-1. And then the next game was 2nd of May. So they went a few weeks.
Wow.
Okay.
I would like to know what Joe Royle did, like, for them to get there. But yeah, you're right. You kind of like with Oldham, they were like, I'd love seeing Oldham in the Premier League first and foremost, because obviously it's so sad to see where they are now, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But I mean, it's incredible to see that name back there. And I think the ground and the sort of like the players they had, like, was it Gunnar Harler and like Ian Marshall?
Gunnar Harler scored the 4th goal. Yeah.
Paul Warhurst started at Oldham before Sheffield Wednesday got him. So, I mean, like, it's a great club.
And like we chatted on the 92-93 season, Forest managed by Brian Clough, and they just struggled. And you had Roy Keane, Stuart Pearce.
Yeah.
It just wasn't enough.
No, what a shame.
Yeah, so any other memories on that season?
No, I think, do you know what? I was just a bit surprised at kind of Oldham's miraculous turnaround, because I think it's quite an exhausting season in itself anyway. The pitches weren't great. A lot of the kind of fitness and nutrition wasn't there. So I would have expected teams at that point of a season to sort of like just sort of fade away. And you get to April and you kind of think, God, I'm knackered.
But look at that. Like, look at Leeds, league champions the previous season.
Yeah.
17th.
Yeah. They were quite high in their stats to win the league, weren't they, when we had this episode a few weeks back?
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Well, there you go. So
let's move on, mate. Let's move on.
Let's move on to the next season. All right. So how they stood at this time? There you go. Swindon Town.
93, 94.
Used to have a song as a kid, going down, Swindon Town.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, that's was this Swindon's only season in the Prem? It was, wasn't it? So this was Fjordtoft and
it was just
Moncur.
Yeah, it was just what did they concede? 100 goals or something, was it? Or something like that, wasn't it?
So I mean, Glenn Hoddle gets them up and then goes to Chelsea, doesn't he? And John Gorman.
John Gorman, didn't follow him. So I will have a quick look at their first. I mean, there you go, 15 games with no win. So this is how you are.
Oh,
yeah. This
What
is how you look at.
stinker.
So they lost. So in the third game, they lost 5-0 against Liverpool. Then they lost 5-1 against Southampton. Yeah, they didn't get. And who scored into the penalties there? Bowden. Oh, did he play for Wales?
Didn't he miss the key penalty for Wales?
Yeah, well, he scored in between August and November. He scored 1, 2, 3, 4 penalties. So yeah, they went from August till November without a win. So the first win was against QPR. So yeah, that was 15 games without a win.
Yeah, you can't do that, can you? I mean, sorry, Swindon fans, but that's dreadful.
But look how, as I said, so on this date, look how far Tottenham are. So Tottenham are on 18th, 39 points.
Yeah, that is mental.
Yeah. All right, and then we'll go to the last day of the season, and I think it's all about Everton as well. There you go. Look how close it is, though.
I know. I was just
City, Southampton, Sheffield United, Ipswich Town.
Gosh.
Yes.
So if I were to say 90s Premier League survival day, this is the one that I would say is the top of my list. Agreed? In terms of memories, right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. This is the one that I can remember, match of the day, the kind of split screen moments, the chopping the change in between the matches. Because, again, Everton were quite written off for this, weren't they?
Well, were they 2-0 down?
They were 2-0 down. So Wimbledon, who they had at Goodison Park, were 6th in the Premier League. So 2-0 down after 20-odd minutes. I mean, if you're a toffee, you're going home, aren't you? Or you're at least savouring the last moments of the Premier League before Division 1 football.
So it was Graham Stewart, 35 minutes, Barry Horn, screamer, 67 minutes, and Graham Stewart again, the 81st minute.
Stewart, Cotty came quickly to him. Stewart! Yes! Yes! For Everton! They can see salvation.
I mean, you'd be biting. You wouldn't have any nails left, would you? I think, Would you leave on the 79th minute?
Do you know what? I have never been a football fan to ever leave early during a game. And the only time I'd have ever left early would have been, I don't know, travel reasons. So I don't ever want to leave a game before the final whistle because so much can happen.
Yeah.
At any point.
So, and Sheffield United.
Yeah, I mean, they conceded a last-minute goal against Chelsea, didn't they? Yes.
It was in injury time that the killer blow was struck. Steen, playing for an FA Cup final place, made it 3-2. United entered the relegation places for the first time in the afternoon, and there was no coming back. Ipswich, still typically without a goal, were out of jail. United consigned to the Football League.
Mad. But again, you look at all of the teams that could have gone down at that point. So Oldham, Ipswich, Southampton, Sheffield United are all in the mix. Mm-hmm. But I can remember the pitch invasion for that on Match of the Day.
I watched I watched that back a few weeks ago actually. I just put a random last day Match of the Day on, and it's mayhem.
Yeah. Who was the Everton manager again? It wasn't. I forget the chap's name.
I think it was Mike Walker, to be honest. Because... Oh, hold on.
Was he poached after a good season with Norwich then?
We'll have a look anyway. We'll find it out and then...
Yeah. So, I've actually got the shirt from this survival day.
It was Mike Walker from January the 7th.
It was. Right,
so, Howard Kendall until the 4th of December, then Mike Walker... Why would Mike Walker leave Norwich?
Strolled in and I know, well, so Mike Walker left Norwich because of the transfer budget and the transfer kind of going on because they were hemorrhaging players after their successful season, weren't they? And obviously Rule Fox going to Newcastle, Sutton, and it's just, So no wonder. But going to the shirt, I mean...
First thing I noticed, Shield.
Yeah, I mean... Umbro, again, though. I mean, it was Umbro's kind of fascination with a shield, right? A badge within a badge.
Yeah, I like that shirt.
Lovely, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I would agree with
NEC,
that one.
iconic.
Never English champions. That's what we used to say.
Oh, God. You are so Liverpool biased today. It's
That's what we
unbelievable.
used to say in the playground.
What I love about this shirt, though, is right. So, like, you've got the little tower, the castle tower, just on the neck there. And then there is a jacquard print of the badge all throughout this kit. So I would say this is probably one of Everton's nicer home shirts from the 90s, I think, because I think it was just simple, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think I've got the same somewhere. Yeah, I like that shirt. Bang on. Another stat I saw from that season, which I don't know how the hell. So Ipswich came 19th, and they had no win in 11 games. The last 11 games, they didn't win a game. And
How did they dodge that?
So from March the 19th to 7th of May, they had no win.
See, that's what I'm telling you about having luck, though, mate, right? You have to have had luck there. Because otherwise, you're done for, aren't you? If you're conceding goals and losing games, lost 11 in a row.
Or just like 11. Yeah, they had a few draws, but no win in 11. No win in 11. Yeah, gosh. But still, far out, survived.
What a season, though, for Everton.
Yeah, great season. Well, not great season, but yeah, what a story. Cool. There you go.
What's that?
95-96.
95-96. Okay, so we're talking Alan Ball, Man City.
Yes, I have got that stat right. Here we go. There we go. Look at that.
What we got?
No win in 11. Was it 11? No win in 11 games.
Again?
What a start. No, what a start for...
Man City. What on earth?
So they had a draw against Tottenham, and then they just lost every game until the 21st of October. They had a 0-0 draw with Leeds. Then they lost 6-0 to Liverpool.
Gosh.
And then the first win was the 4th of November against Bolton. But I remember the 6-0. I saw an article of the 6-0 defeat, and it was like Alan Ball had given up because he said, "I really enjoyed that game." To sit back and just watch some entertaining football.
Oh, Alan. Do you know, it's funnily enough, though, right? The final game of the season for Man City was against Liverpool at Main Road, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which actually finished 2-2.
Yeah.
So they thought it was enough, right?
Do you have some information on that one?
Oh, my God. I read this story, right, and I was fascinated because I don't actually recall this at the time, but I've seen the clips now and I've seen the photos from the game. So the background story of it is that Man City thought that a draw would be enough to keep them up, right? So they're 2-2 against Liverpool. Alan Ball's received instructions to take it in the corner, kill some time, right? Now, Niall Quinn has been in the changing room catching up on the other results, and it comes through that obviously a draw is not enough for Man City and they need to get another goal. So there are images of him sprinting out semi-clothed down the tunnel, down the touchline, screaming at Man City to get a third because obviously they'd left it too late. Now, there's a classic picture that I've seen of, I think it's like Kit Simons, Keith Curl, and Kincladze maybe. They're just down the tunnel, and they literally look shell-shocked.
Yeah.
What an awful turnaround.
They just, as I said, I reckon it goes to the start of the season.
It does. It does. Yeah. I mean, there's that classic kind of thing, isn't it, of start strong. And you have to. In the Premier League, if you don't, you are swallowed up quick.
Yeah, well, the last 3 games of that season, though, so they beat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0.
Thank you.
And then they beat Aston Villa. So they had 2 wins, then going into the Liverpool game with a draw.
Mad.
So let's just have a look. So how they stood. So you've got Bolton, bottom, Coventry, QPR, Man City, and Southampton. So Wimbledon, Sheffield Wednesday look like they're safe. So the last day of the season. There you go. So what happened to Southampton on the last day of the season? Oh, they drew, didn't they?
They drew, yeah.
Yeah. So they drew against Wimbledon. So look at the goal difference between going into that game. So not goal difference, points difference. I mean, you got Man City, Southampton, Coventry, all on 37 points.
Whoever told Alan Ball that a draw was enough? Did he come up with that?
They all finished on 38 points because they all get a draw.
That is mad. Absolutely mad.
Coventry drew with Leeds 0-0. Yeah. So Southampton drew with Wimbledon 0-0, and then City got the 2-2.
Of course, though, that kind of triggered the spiral of Man City kind of being out of the Premier League for quite a while then, wasn't it? Because obviously they went into Division 1 and then Division 2. And
isn't it till 2000?
I think it was. I mean, that's awful, isn't it?
Being a fan, I remember when this is probably the first season when I actually took notice in the relegation. I was like, because you just think City are a staple of, they're always there.
Yeah.
You know, they have the derbies, you expect a Manchester derby, City are there.
Yeah.
And them getting relegated, I remember the next season, it was a big deal. I think it might have been on their first game in the first division. I think it was televised. And I was just like, wow, what is City doing here? Like, it was a big deal.
Yeah. I think that was probably, you're right, mate. I think that was actually the biggest team to have gone from the Premier League that I noticed that felt weird not being there the next season. Yeah.
Yeah. And they just felt too big for the boots in the first division. You're like, City, they're just going to walk this league.
Because that doesn't happen now, does it? I mean, the big clubs, like, there aren't that many shocks anymore. I mean,
Newcastle, when they got relegated.
Oh, God, yeah. But I mean,
that was kind of in the same kind of vein as City. Like, what are they doing here?
Yeah. And then to think, though, that like it's always now mostly the three that come up are the three that go down or they struggle. Yeah. Because you're right, you have to get form straight away. And obviously City took their foot off the pedal and just coasted, and it wasn't enough. That's an awful end to a season, that, I think. Especially drawing at home. Wow. I feel bad there.
And Sheffield Wednesday survived by 2 points.
There you go.
How was your memories for that season?
Did you have David Plea? Yeah. Bit of a weird season, to be honest, because that was the kind of the transition. So not only was it Waddle's last season, I think, or penultimate last season with us, we started to kind of change the team around a bit, and we had lots of players like Humphreys and Briscoe and Pembridge and all that started to feature more frequently. So I think we may have even had Europe at the start of this season. But I think it would have been through like maybe the Intertoto Cup, maybe something like that. But yeah, it wasn't a great season for Knowledge, and we changed from the classic blue and white stripes this season to the block, which I now love. But back then, as a kid, like when Sheffield Wednesday got rid of blue and white stripes, I was like, what on earth is going on here?
Yeah, they were in the Intertoto Cup. You're right.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just a weird season. I think it started off promising because obviously we had European football, but I think Sheffield Wednesday soon noticed that a busy, packed season may not be a good thing.
Yeah. When's the episode on the Intertoto Cup?
Oh God, yeah. We do you know what we have spoke about this though, haven't we?
Yes.
The 90s Premier League in Europe. So let's keep that on the back burner because I love those little things, especially like do you remember like the Anglo-Italian Cup as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, brilliant. Right, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
What's next?
All right. Okay. We'll slide into the 1996-97.
Okay.
All right. This is where Nottingham Forest were absolute dog shit.
It's
honestly. I mean, they had an awful season. They had Pierre Van Hooijdonk arriving as well.
I've got to admit, like this middle bit of the 90s for me right, with Nottingham Forest in particular, a lot happened, but a lot didn't at the same time, if that makes sense. Like for me, my memories of Nottingham Forest in the middle of the 90s were they kind of had the same team for ages. They had the same kit for ages, but they yo-yoed. And did they go up? Did they go down? And I kind of lose track of their kind of history, if I'm honest.
Yeah. So obviously going from 34 games to 37, what did they get? 3 points in that time. So they were done. Let me have a look. I've got their stats for that one, actually. So they started good. So they started with a 3-0 win over Coventry, Kevin Campbell hat-trick. And then they
Super
had
Kev.
and then they had no win in 16.
No win in 16.
Until they beat Arsenal 2-1.
That is unforgivable.
Haaland. And then
wow.
Let's have a look. So no win in 16, and then going on to it, they near the end of the season lost 4, drew 7 from March. They got those draws.
Yeah.
So I think that did it for them. Lost 5-0 on the last day of the season. They're just given up against Newcastle, didn't they? So as I said, this comes to another stat. Yeah, a good start to the season is obviously the key. No win in 16.
But let's talk about the other end for this one. So 96, 97. What were the prolific kind of moments in that season in general? So that was obviously, this was Alan Shearer's first season at Newcastle, wasn't it?
Yes, after Euro 96, wasn't it? So all these flashy
Poborski, like all of these players started coming through from Euro 96. So it was a real shapeshifter in the Premier League at that point, wasn't it? Because a lot of European players were coming in. But as you can see, I mean, the points tally was fairly close.
Yeah, I mean, Sunderland, they finished on 40 points.
Wow.
Got relegated. So they needed a point to stay up, didn't they? They lost against Wimbledon 1-0.
Yeah.
And Tottenham won Coventry. So Coventry beat Tottenham, Dion Dublin and Paul Williams.
And Gordon Strachan just can't bear the tension of these final few minutes. As the referee brings to an end this game, the fans know that Sunderland and Middlesbrough, that's for certain. Many radios tuned in, I'm sure, to hear the results from around the country. And now Dion Dublin knows. Brian Burrows telling him there. And Coventry City's tenure in the FA Carling Premiership will continue.
So here we have on screen the surviving kit from Coventry's 96-97 campaign. Lecoq Sportif, Jonesy. What do you think, Lecoq Sportif?
Yeah, I've got that shirt. I've got 2 copies of that shirt.
Greedy.
Yep. Yeah. I think one. Greedy. All right, I'll get 3.
What do you think of the badge, mate?
I like it. Yeah.
Nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always liked the commentary. I don't know where it is.
I mean, it's almost a little bit kind of like Formula One with the checkers on the kind of sleeve and the collar, though. I don't know where that come from.
Peugeot? I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, I mean, but I think because this is obviously like Darren Huckabee, Noel Whelan, Dion Dublin.
Talk about, I mean, is it the 94, 95, the one where it was actually, I've got that one somewhere. Probably don't know where it is now, but yeah, as I said, they're just different colours, isn't it? Here we go. So go from that one.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I do love that shirt. That's Peter Underlove, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, has that got Prem patches on?
Yeah, it's a match worn. I think Paul Williams.
Paul Williams, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, it's got
Jonesy. That's beautiful. Right.
So that's a match worn. I've got 2 versions of this one actually. So you can see the differences. So this is like the fan one.
Yeah.
Can you see I don't know if you can see the shiny pattern in there?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can.
And this one, it goes the opposite way.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Pony?
Yep. So this one on the fan one is kind of just he pressed on, and this one is sewn into it.
Oh, the little details though make a difference, don't they?
Yeah. So got the long sleeve. Greedy.
That's beautiful. Having a match worn of that though.
We'll do a commentary. We'll do a commentary exclusive episode.
Yeah.
We won't.
Just based on them.
But
where are they now though would be good.
But that one you've got in the background, I've got a match issue one of that one, and the badge is actually sewn into it.
Yeah, so this is embossed, isn't it?
Yeah.
On my one. Some great kits though that Coventry had in the 90s, didn't they?
Yeah. I like the away ones. I've got the away one somewhere. So yeah, great survival. Middlesbrough. There you go. Juninho at full time in tears.
Yeah.
Most iconic images of the season.
I texted you this though, didn't I, this morning, mate? I know I was talking about Juninho's impact at Riverside for Middlesbrough was phenomenal. I mean, he didn't actually get to play for Middlesbrough until November, I think it was, and for what permit reasons. But his impact was incredible.
So here we've got, I've got Borough one of the most. So Juninho, Ravanelli, Emerson. This is the season they got docked 3 points, wasn't it?
Yeah, for the Blackburn game.
So without the deduction, they would have survived.
Again, like, we can talk about what could have beens, and we talk about the form to start the season, but those little bits in a Premier League season in such a tough competition, wow. That must hurt, mustn't it? Looking back, going
what's the story of that? Did the whole team have the flu or something?
Yeah, so they, combination of it all, a cocktail. And then Brian Robson was like, "Well, we're not going to put a team out because I could put kids out." But if I'm honest, right, I mean, if they'd have lost 3 points anyway, I suppose. But were they deduct a further 3 points off that, or was it just given a Blackburn win? Was it?
Yes, because they replayed the game. They did play them, didn't they?
Yeah.
So what did they do? Oh, yeah, I've got the details here. So that was in December, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they beat them. They beat them 2-1 in March, and then they drew 0-0 with them in May.
See. You would just throw the kitchen sink at it, wouldn't you? You'd put kids out. I'd be like, right, yeah, go on. I'm going to put my boots on. Brian Robson should have played.
I'll play. Yeah.
Come on.
We were talking about that, wasn't he? Well, we
thought
his last season.
Yeah,
let's get it on there. Well, we thought he retired at the end of 94, 95.
Yeah. But he permanently left his shorts and his socks on under his suit so that he could play.
What was he?
Do you remember those six-a-side tournaments as a kid, though? Because I was talking to this with my mum not long ago, actually, about my older brother, right? Where he always used to take his shin pads and his boots in the boot of the car. So if I had a football tournament like a summer six-a-side, there was always be over the tannoy, like, and such team need an extra player to take part. My brother would be like Superman, like, go get his shin pads out of the car. Yeah. That's the modern day Brian Robson.
So his last game was on New Year's Day in a 2-0 defeat away to Arsenal. So it was his last professional game.
Yeah. He could have, I thought he could have tried harder. These are these sort of like things where you look back now and think, do you know what? We could have done something better here. Because that's, like you said, a financial impact on the club.
Yeah, massively. And obviously they just had what a season. They got to 2 cup finals as well, didn't they?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you just give it a go?
That was the one where I think was it Ravanelli scored the hat-trick against Liverpool the first day of the season. And I thought, I remember watching Match of the Day, and I thought, shit, we got a team on the hands here.
Yeah.
These look good. And then it just
I'm so glad you didn't bet your pocket money on Middlesbrough there, Jonesy. You didn't go to Club Call Hotline and go, right, Middlesbrough to win the league. I've just seen Ravanelli score 3.
They started okay, so they drew 3-3 against Liverpool, lost against Chelsea, drew against Forest, beat West Ham 4-1, beat Coventry 4-0, beat Everton.
Wow.
So they had a good start. They had a good first 6 games, and then they lost. Then they just kind of went on their losing streak.
Again, though, mate.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Cup run.
6 games. Yep.
Was it too much for him?
Could be. I mean, he even beat Derby 6-1. Yeah, but I remember watching Match of the Day and see Ravanelli. What the hell was he signing for them for? We were watching him in Champions League for Juve, and next you're like, so he was massive as well. I mean, we'll get onto the Foreign Legion episode another time, because we definitely want to do that one.
We do, mate.
But that was probably one I was shocked as well, just because of the cup runs and the players they've got, like they had that time. Janino, you just like too good to go down.
Yeah, well, but I mean, you get the decisions of things like not playing against Blackburn and stuff, and it's almost like you're too big for your boots. It's like, well, play a team, Brian. You know, put 12-year-olds out there. Whatever you need to play.
Yes.
Right, what we got next?
All right, let's get the vinyl music out. We're going to the 1999-2000. So we're going to Match of the Day. So I've got some BBC Match of the Day graphics up there just to mix it up.
Yeah.
There we go. So how we're looking this time that year, we're on 32 games. So you've got Watford on 20 points. Talk about dog shit. Far out. Looking at their
And on the other shoe, we have Sheffield Wednesday.
I mean, I put Watford's fixtures into 2. Look at all that pink.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah,
talk about. I mean, they beat Liverpool.
Yeah, a whole table full of salmon there. That's not good. They beat Liverpool,
and then they beat Liverpool. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate.
On the 1-0 at Anfield.
At Anfield. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go. So they were going well, and then it just went all downhill, didn't it? I mean, they won their last game of the season, and they beat Sheffield Wednesday as well. Cracking it up there.
But what's prolific about this season, though, mate? Come on, tell me. Get it over and done with.
Bradford's great escape.
Yeah.
And obviously...
Houdini lives in Bradford.
So we go to the last day of the season as well. So Wednesday were relegated before. What was your memories of that?
A beautiful kit. Let me get my mannequin out.
Yes. So that's the kit they wore.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Beauty.
Long sleeve.
Too good to get relegated. Who's on the back?
I've got no one on the back of this one because I've got this in long sleeve, but I've got another short sleeve one with Wim Jonk on the back.
Ooh. Yep.
Now, can I talk to you about Sheffield Wednesday just a smidgen here? Right. We had...
The floor is yours.
An incredible squad for European sides. We had Emerson Tome, centre-back, who later went on to Chelsea, Nicholas Alexanderson, Benito Carboni, Peter Rudy, Wim Jonk. I mean, what a hell of a squad. Gilles de Builder.
Yeah, he's down on my list here.
Gerald Sibon. I mean, honestly, I don't have any words as to why we got relegated. I know we drew 3-3 at Highbury at the latter part of the season. And, it just made no sense to my brain as a kid when I thought Sheffield Wednesday aren't in the division anymore. I just couldn't comprehend it. I don't even think I was sad. I was just a bit like, what? Where are we now then?
That's start of the season. So no win in 9. So you lose 8, draw 1. Then you beat Wimbledon 5-1.
Yeah. We decided to turn up, clearly. I don't get it. Awful season. But I mean, can I say, I just don't think that the actual teams that year were great anyway. I don't look back at 99-2000 as being one of those standout years for football in general. I mean, it wasn't the treble year, was it?
It was? No.
So did anything happen?
In that year?
Yeah. Other than Woody's heartbreak?
Can't even remember that season, to be honest.
That's what I mean. Did anything actually happen? Like 99-2000. Yeah, we can talk about Bradford with David Weatherall. Woo! But what else?
So Man United won the league. Man United won the league on 91 points. Arsenal 73. Jeez, United took them.
That was
no one showed up.
Arsenal was second with 73 points.
Yeah, then Leeds 69. Liverpool 67. Yeah, I think it's no one's turned up this season.
However, the only plus I'm going to take as a football fan, the Arsenal-Manchester United rivalry was sky high at that point, wasn't it? Because they had each other in the FA Cup at this one, didn't they? The semis again.
It was the season United withdrew from the FA Cup.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the year before then. That was the Giggs with his chest hair. Yeah, because this one was the one where they entered into the Club World Cup, wasn't it? And they had Vasco da Gama and stuff in Brazil, wasn't it?
Yeah, we can talk about that on another episode. I reckon we'll talk about some...
Yeah, Woody, you're ahead of yourself. Stop trying to smooth over the cracks of Sheffield Wednesday being relegated.
No, I'm going to do some research. I can't remember shit about this year.
We did... we did miss a couple of seasons there, Jonesy, but there is a reason, isn't there? Because there wasn't a great deal of survivals in between the 96, 97 to then 99, 2000. Am I right?
Yeah, I went through them and thought,
they weren't great, were they?
No, like 94, 95. I think we could do an entire episode on that. Obviously, the Blackburn Rovers. So we can revisit that one another time, I think.
The only thing I have got, though, is the 97, 98 season, which again was another Everton survival, right?
Yeah.
There is a grievance from Bolton Wanderers fans for that season, which I can understand, because they draw 0-0 against Everton that season, and there was a blatant disallowed goal from Bolton's perspective, right?
Of course.
And then on the final day, Bolton lose 2-0 to Chelsea, and Everton score against Coventry to draw 1-1 with Gareth Farrelly. Now, that kept them above Bolton, and Bolton subsequently got relegated. So Bolton then go back to earlier in the season. And again, we're talking about the hard done-bys. It's that classic bit of what could have been, like the Middlesbrough, like Nottingham Forest. It's all those bits of, if fortune would have gone their way, would their season have been different?
Yeah.
Interesting, right?
Oh.
There's more than meets the eye to these relegation battles, my friend. I tell you, it's an emotional time.
Well, just going back on this one we're on now, just for 2 seconds, like Wimbledon's collapse. They're after 14 years in the top flight, lose 8 of the last 9 matches, and they're gone forever. See you later.
This is what I'm talking about, right? So we've not been in the big time since that season. Sheffield Wednesday, Wimbledon haven't.
Is it that long?
End of an era.
Oh.
End of an era, mate. You talk about 8 seasons being in the Premier League and then nothing. And then those traditional, beautiful clubs just drop from the league and are never to be seen again. Mad.
Yeah.
And then you've got consistent yo-yoing from the likes of West Brom and Norwich. There's no stability in the Premier League from there on. It's such a shame.
Yeah. The game's gone.
The game's gone. This is where you need to do your little Last of the Summer Wine music at the end as well, to console me.
Just had enough of it.
Do you think we've covered relegations fairly there, Jonesy?
I think so. We've picked it out. Obviously, I'd love to show footage, but I'll get copyright strike from YouTube, and we don't want that.
No, we don't. But I think
I think we've gone through. I know it's obviously the key message is probably a good start. That's what the teams need for going looking back at it.
Yeah. It's that classic PE teacher comment at sports day. Start strong.
Start strong.
Build up the momentum. But yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. I think it's a message for all clubs. It's not about it's a long season, because I hear managers say that all the time. We've got a long way to go. Hang on a minute, mate.
Yeah.
There is a long way to go, but you've got to start sharp, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you could see yourself forfeiting games during December because of a stomach bug, and then you're done.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, relegation. Some of the teams though that just gone. And you mean where's Oldham? Conference?
Sad, very sad.
Bradford.
Coventry, Bradford, Derby.
Yep.
Who else?
Barnsley?
Well, they can go. They're all right. Yes, well, Sheffield United have been back recently, so I can't really say much about them. Swindon.
Yeah.
They only went up for that one season, but they're still there, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's sad. It is sad, but I think we've shed enough tears now for relegation, mate. I think we need to think forward and think about the podcast for the next few episodes. What do you want from our listeners?
Yeah. What do I want? Messages. Give us some ideas.
Yeah.
Let us know what you want.
I mean, are we opening the mailbag, mate, anymore?
Well,
or do we need letters?
Yeah. I think I've stopped asking because of the content we've had recently. We need to make room for the mailbag. So please just message and tell us your memories. If you've got anything, some memorabilia, shirt collection, you went to a game, anything. I'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to share on the mailbag and episode ideas as well.
Yep.
Anything you'd like to hear? Obviously, going into the close of the season, I think a race for the title episode, FA Cup.
I was going to say, let's reassure our listeners here, Jonesy. I mean, we're not struggling for material. We've not got writer's block. I
sent you a list the other day of how many, 50?
Yeah, Jonesy, we've got huge amounts of ideas, but because this is for you guys and we're taking you down memory lane, we want to know what you want to hear.
Yeah. That's it. Absolutely.
We've had some great feedback as well with regards to Al Shaw's episode last week, the GK Union, didn't we, mate? So thank you ever so much. That was a great episode, and we are going to look at doing that again very soon, aren't we, mate?
Yeah. Al was a great guest. His knowledge on goalkeeper, equipment, shirts, history. He was a great first guest.
And I told you Saturday morning after we'd obviously done the episode, I said to you, I am now looking at goalkeeper shirts on eBay because it's infectious, right?
I was looking at some Sondico templates.
Exactly. But when you talk to someone with the enthusiasm, like being a collector, you only need a few little pieces of information. You're like, oh my God, yeah, I remember that. I remember that goalkeeper top. And then off it goes, you know? And your whole weekend's consumed by the smell of the inside of a goalkeeper glove.
I was searching goalkeeper gloves. Actually, I don't even play anymore. Why do I need gloves?
Yeah,
but I just want them.
Oh, all right, Jonesy. For our listeners that would like to follow you personally, where can they find you, my friend?
Yes, I am football.jonesy. And how about yourself? Where are you?
I'm only on Instagram.
You're everywhere on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram, WoodyW1988. So, guys, please drop us a follow, send us a DM, however you want to contact us. Let us know. No pigeon mail.
Also, thanks for the listeners who have been sharing our stories as well on Instagram.
Yeah, incredible.
Massively as well.
Absolutely, mate. Well said.
No TikTok channel yet. No dancing videos, but.
No, I think that is the end of our podcast if we do dance routines for the 90s Premier League podcast. Although we could replicate some of the cheerleading dances from the Sky TV.
We could fit in the celebrations episode somewhere.
But yeah, okay. Another cracking episode, mate. Thank you ever so much for your efforts and your energy this week. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, mate. It's been a blast.
Look forward to next week's episode. And guys, that 90s Premier League podcast. Thanks ever so much for listening. Say goodbye, Jonesy.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.